German citizens were disarmed by their government in the late 1930s, and by the mid-1940s, Hitler's regime had mercilessly slaughtered 6 million Jews and numerous others whom they considered inferior. Through a combination of removing guns and disseminating deceitful propaganda, the Nazis were able to carry out their evil intentions with relatively little resistance. So what is the point you're trying to make? If there had been guns in Germany, there might not have been a Holocaust?
My point is, that was only one of the countries that I mentioned. There were a number of countries where tyranny reigned, and before it happened, they disarmed the people. That was the point. Noah Webster said, when he was talking about tyranny, that the people of America would never suffer tyranny because they are armed.
So, but just clarify, if there had been no gun control laws in Europe at that time, would 6 million Jews have been slaughtered?
I think the likelihood of Hitler being able to accomplish his goals would have been greatly diminished if the people had been armed.
Because they had a powerful military machine, as you know, the Nazis.
I understand that.
They could have simply gone in, and they did go in and wipe out whole communities.
But realize there was a reason that they took the guns first, right?
So you believe that if they had guns, maybe it could have been eased? Is that what you're saying?
I'm telling you that there is a reason that these dictatorial people take the guns first.
Should kindergarten teachers be armed?
My point is that many of the places where these mass shootings occur are gun-free zones. So these people who are crazed, but not so crazy as to go into a place where they're likely to get shot, they select these places because they know that they're not going to meet resistance. So whether it's a kindergarten teacher who was well trained, or a retired policeman, or someone who can stop the carnage, I think that makes a lot of sense.
So you're recommending, and you correct me if I'm wrong, elementary schools have guards, armed guards, or at least the teachers be armed?
I am saying that they should have some mechanism whereby they can defend themselves.
What does that mean, some mechanism?
That means not allowing this person just to come in and have free reign. We should have someone there who is armed, who is trained, and who can handle the weapon.